Let's get this installed so we can hit the road tomorrow. I also picked up 1 1/4 grade 8 bolts to go through here with a lock washer and a nut. And I'm going to do that times 4. I bolted in the bracket where the idler arm goes. I just bolted it in with those 2 bolts there. And then, see those little marks in there? I simply took my drill to get the little divot point to find the center of the hole. Now with those divot marks, I can drill a 3/16 pilot hole. When drilling this hole here, watch out because the brake line is right there, so you got to be very careful not to hit the brake line. Also, drilling this top hole, this tube for the water, I had to move back and forth, putting my drill one way and then moving the drill over here for the other hole. My little Milwaukee M12 drill got the job done. I started by removing the recovery hook out of the front of the truck. It's an 18 millimeter. There's 3 bolts, 1 on each side and 1 on the bottom. It's going to give you a lot more room to install that gusset. The crowbar, I could push it through. Let's get the crowbar. I taped it here on the hole on the crowbar. Try to feed it through the front of the truck. Aha! That's the ticket right there. Let's do it again. That last one worked really well. All right, let's try it again. Watch this, watch this. This is the ticket here. So you can see the angle of the crowbar there. So we're gonna use the angle to our advantage on this last one. Because you can't get a straight shot into the frame because of that tube right there. You can see that tube. So I gotta go over that tube. Wiggle it in. The good thing about picking your nose as a kid, you get good at wiggling. Ah, I dropped it. I was so close. I was so close. Luckily, I got this magnet tool here. Go in and get it. I was so close. It's worth another shot. We painted this with some weld-through primer, and I really softened the edge up here. Because it goes right next to the water line, and I know the water line doesn't rest on it, but it does hit it sometimes after you remove the skid plate. So I softened the edge there, and then Lauren painted it in this weld-through primer because even though we're bolting it, we think we might want to weld it because it is recommended, but we just don't have the welding tools here. So this will be prepped and ready to weld in the future, in the near future if we do it. Pretty color though, I kind of wish we can leave it that color. This next step in installing this gusset was very tedious. I was trying to line up those new bolts into the holes of the gusset without pushing them back through the frame. I was also trying to line up the gusset with the idler arm bracket bolts, and in fact it was so tedious we dropped the camera and we didn't get it on film. But in the next clip here, I got the nuts on the new bolts so they wouldn't fall through, and then we're going to tighten them up. I was able to get a couple more turns on these bolts with this wrench, and I think they're tight. We got lucky that the hex on the inside of the frame grabbed, and it's in.